Hey vinyl community and YouTube viewers, this is Chris. I'm here to do a vinyl update, music update. I think it's all vinyl, so I guess vinyl update's fine. It's kind of all over the place, but to start with, this was a Discogs or an eBay or an Amazon order. Georges Ivanovich Gurdjieff and Thomas de Hartmann. So this is a solo piano as played by Herbert Henk. Herbert Henk is a modern pianist. Covers a lot of more modern music, and I've got some other things by him like John Cage, for instance, but here he's doing Gurdjieff and de Hartmann. So that was a good enough reason to get this album. So gatefold. This is Thomas de Hartmann, and this is Mr. Gurdjieff. This is on the Wergo label, which I think is out of Germany. So Gurdjieff de Hartmann, 1982, and just I've picked up several. There's one other one that I got recently, but other ones that I have. Keith Jarrett did one with George Ivanovich Gurdjieff compositions. This is an ECM release. Sacred Hymns, and then this one by Alain Kremsky, Gurdjieff and de Hartmann. This is on Avidus. So this is volume 1 from not immediately clear. (1982). And I had one of the two volumes, and I picked up the other one. So this is volume 2 by Alain Kremsky. Probably somewhere near the other one, 1983. So solo piano, I guess you could call it spiritual piano. If you got spiritual jazz, here's spiritual piano. So Gurdjieff and de Hartmann, Alain Kremsky, volume 2. And there was another one I had by Ellen Skiroff, Editions E.G. This says it's there's a promo sticker on the outside, but the inside doesn't look too special. And then I've got 4 discs worth of Cecil Lytle. Readings of the Sacred Book. And the other 2 are Seekers of the Truth. And then there's another 2 volumes which are on cassette only, or at least not on vinyl. There's Mr. Lytle performing the piano music of Gurdjieff and de Hartmann. So that started it off. Now the rest of this will be going back and forth. Now we're going towards country. Doug Kershaw, Swampgrass, 1972. On the Screen Warner Brothers label. So Cajun tinged country music, Doug Kershaw. And 1976, Ragin' Cajun by Doug Kershaw. Also on Warner Brothers. And then here was sort of an upgrade. I had a cassette of this, and now I got the vinyl. The Greenbrier Boys, featuring John Harold, Best Of on the Vanguard label. And I was at the local record store, Vertical Records, recently, and they had this in their free pile, as you walk out the front door. So I had bought a couple of other albums, which you may or may not see in this video. I don't remember, but McKendree Spring Tracks was in the free pile. This is on MCA from 1972. That's sort of a Decca number, so early MCA. Well, actually it shows Decca on the label. As an MCA subsidiary, I guess. And solo piano. This was a blind buy. Didn't know of Fred Crane before, but you can't go too wrong on solo piano. You get something good, or you get something tinkly, or you get something new agey, whatever it is, typically pretty good. So Fred Crane, this is on the Unicornopia label. $1986. I was glad to pick this one up. And then we jump over into some country. Earl Scruggs with Tom T. Hall. So Scruggs meets or country meets bluegrass. The Storyteller and the Banjo Man. So Earl Scruggs is the banjo man. Tom T. Hall is the storyteller. This is those two getting together on Columbia. (1981), 1982. Didn't have any Tom T. Hall before this, I don't think, but did have several Earl Scruggs albums, so should be good. And Jimmy Martin and the Sunny Mountain Boys, 1960. Good and Country on the Decca label. So some early bluegrass. Jimmy Martin. And then 1975, Bill Clifton. Come by the Hills on the Country label. Or bluegrass. Bill Clifton. Country label. And then one that I'd had a digital copy of for a while, but finally got this one. Kentucky Colonels. Clarence White, Roland White, Eric White. 1966 on the Shiloh label. So early West Coast bluegrass. Shiloh says this is the only studio album by the Kentucky Colonels. And then Clarence White went on to work with the Byrds, some other bands, primarily the Byrds, but Nashville West was one that he was involved with. He was a sideman with a lot of other albums. Another Byrds related act, Gene Parsons. This is Melodies. This is Kindling, 1973. So I had this before on a CD with some bonus cuts, but now I finally got the actual vinyl. On Warner Brothers, Gene Parsons, Clarence White plays on this album. And then we get into some acoustic guitar music. So this is Fred Gerlach, songs My Mother Never Sang. This is on the Tacoma label. So Tacoma. (1968), I think, was the year for this. He gives John Fahey credit for allowing him to do whatever he did. So, solo acoustic guitar. And then I picked up a copy of John Fahey Requiem. This is on the Vanguard label. Again, more solo acoustic guitar. Mostly titles that start with Requiem, other than two of them, I think. And then more solo guitar. Bola Sete. I forgot to check what that was. This is called Jungle Suite for solo guitar on Dancing Cat label from 1983. He's a Brazilian guitarist. Started recording decades before this, but this is a later one. And solo guitar. And then this is just a more of a folk or British folk. Matty Pryor, Changing Winds. This is also on Tacoma, 1980. Matty Pryor, British folk. Wolfgang Downer, or Downer. Output is the title. This is an ECM album. $1970 ECM. The only problem with this is it has an edge along the outer, a warp along the outer edge, so I still have to work on that so I can hear the whole album, but I did not have any Wolfgang Downer before, so at least I've got one that was real cheap, and it was, even though it was warped. And I got these next two albums were ones that I'd never seen before, so I thought I'd better pick those up. They're both from Denmark, I think. Yeah. Ruud Langgaard. Klaverwerker, which is some kind of something that means something about a piano. On the Danacord label. So, 2 LP set. Bengt Johnson playing piano. There's the Danacord label. So I'll say that this is modern classical, not knowing any better. For the year 1984, Ruud Langgaard. And then more Danish piano music. Ivar Mishakov is the pianist. So he plays Paul Ruders, Per Norgard, and Ib Norholm. I'm not familiar with the musicians, or the composers, but I am familiar with Ivar Mishakov. In fact, I even bought accidentally some piano music by him rather than actual music. It was just scores for piano works. So this is on the Paula label, 1983, from Denmark. And then keeping in the modern classical for a moment, songs of Samuel Barber and Ned Rorem. Has that nice black and white cover. In case there was a black and white album cover thread that might go around, I could use this one. This is on the New Worlds label. Liner notes, a little bit of a booklet inside. Unfortunately, this is not just solo piano, it's string quartets, other people involved in it, but songs of Samuel Barber and Ned Rorem. So it makes it seem like it's part of it's vocal oriented, and then the string quartet. So, but nice to have, and it's a nice label. 1978 New World Records. And then Taj Mahal Travelers. I showed a CD that I had gotten from these guys recently. So don't remember if I have shown this. It's on this B13 label, which may or may not be legitimate. I did think I showed it because it's a colored vinyl. This translucent blue. It's various concerts from 72 to March 72 to August 73. Taj Mahal Travelers. So very drone-based music out of Japan. And then the final two, Chris Christopherson, Easter Island. I was missing this one album out of all the early Chris Christopherson records. Promo label, sticker on there. Yeah, it's a white label promo on Columbia. Chris Christopherson, Easter Island, 1978. And the last one in this batch, Jake Holmes. How Much Time on Columbia? This is 1971. So you may be aware of Jake Holmes as the original composer of some Led Zeppelin song. They changed it a little bit, but if you hear his version first, and you'll recognize when Led Zeppelin does their version.
Feel like a mouse and you act like a cat.
Unfortunately, I can't remember the actual song title, but I'll put it in the comments below, or the notes, so that you'll know what I'm talking about. Jake Holmes, 1971. All right, so thanks everybody for that vinyl update, and I'll see you later. I've got some other albums to show, other music updates. A lot of it's CDs, so I don't know how much I'll do, or I may just watch somebody else's video and be inspired by them. So thanks everybody.